Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I'd love to know what you think. Every comment helps me make the next story better. Subscribe to stay tuned. I pulled into the parking garage at 4:47 p.m. on a Saturday, every muscle aching from 7 hours of hauling furniture up 3 flights of stairs. My best friend Greg had finally left his terrible apartment, and I'd volunteered to help him move. Noble. Stupid. My back would remind me of this choice for days. All I wanted was a hot shower, cold beer, and maybe an hour unconscious on the couch before figuring out dinner. The apartment lights were on when I got to our floor. I could hear voices through the door. Female voices, laughter. Girls' night. I'd forgotten. Or maybe I hadn't been told it was tonight instead of next weekend. Brianna had been changing plans without mentioning them lately, but I was too tired to care. I unlocked the door as quietly as I could, not trying to sneak exactly, just too exhausted to announce myself properly. That's when I heard her voice cutting through the chatter, clear and confident. Honestly, you're not man enough to handle me. Laughter erupted from her friends. I froze in the entryway, dust from Greg's old couch still on my shirt, keys hanging from my hand. My girlfriend of 4 years was sitting on our couch, wine glass raised, entertaining her friends with what was apparently the truth about me. Girl facts. One of them said, "You need someone on your level." Exactly, Brianna said. I'm done settling. My heart pounded in my chest, but my head went completely clear. You know that moment when everything just clicks into place? When you finally see something you've been trying not to see for way too long. This was that moment. I walked into the living room. All 4 of them turned to look at me. The laughter died instantly. "Hey," I said, keeping my voice level. "Interesting conversation." Brianna's face went white. "Oh, you're home early. We were just—" "You're right," I said. The calmness in my own voice surprised me. "I'm not man enough to handle you." Dead silence. One of her friends actually put down her wine glass. "Which is why I'm making you someone else's challenge." "What?" Brianna managed. "You heard me. You want someone who can handle you? Go find him. I'm done auditioning." I pulled out my phone and opened the Notes app. Started typing. "What are you doing?" "Documenting this conversation. Date, time, witnesses. Need it for when we split the lease." I looked at her 3 friends. None of them would meet my eyes. You all heard her say, "I'm not man enough." Just so we're clear, I'm not the one who ended this. I headed for the bedroom. Brianna followed, her heels clicking frantically on the hardwood floor. "Where are you going?" "Packing." "You can't be serious right now." I stopped and looked back at her. "You just told your friends our relationship is a joke. Why would I not be serious?" "That's not what I said." "That's exactly what you said." I continued to the bedroom and pulled my duffel bag from the closet. Work clothes, underwear, socks, toiletries from the bathroom. Phone charger. "This is insane," she said, standing in the doorway. "You're going to throw away 4 years because of one comment?" I zipped the bag and turned to face her. "You think this is about one comment? You just spent the last hour trashing me to your friends, laughing about how I'm not good enough for you anymore." I picked up the bag. "And honestly, you're probably right. I'm not good enough for someone who talks about me like that. So let's both upgrade." "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" She didn't have an answer for that. I walked past her down the stairs. Her friends had already left. Wine glasses sat abandoned on the coffee table. I grabbed my keys from the hook by the door. "Where are you going to go?" she asked from the top of the stairs. "Does it matter?" "Of course it matters. This is your home." I looked up at her. "No, this is a house where my girlfriend thinks I'm beneath her. Not the same thing." Then I left. I sat in my truck for a minute before starting it. Hands on the steering wheel, breathing. The adrenaline was starting to wear off. My chest felt tight. But underneath all of that was something else. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. Relief. I drove to Hotel Ella in Hyde Park. $180 a night. A splurge, but I needed something that felt safe. The room was small but clean, decorated in that boutique hotel style that costs extra. I dropped the duffel on the floor and sat on the edge of the bed. My phone buzzed. Then again. All from her. 14 calls. 28 texts. I scrolled through them. Anger. "You're being a child." Manipulation. "I didn't mean it that way." Guilt. "After everything I've done for you." I typed one response. "I meant what I said. We're done. We can discuss practical matters like adults, or lawyers can do it. Your call." Then I blocked her number temporarily. I needed silence. Space to think. I laid back on the hotel pillow and stared at the ceiling. Tried to process what the hell had just happened. My relationship of 4 years had ended in about 20 minutes. Had I overreacted? Then I heard her voice again in my head. You're not man enough to handle me. The laughter that followed. No, I hadn't overreacted. I woke up at 7 the next morning to my phone ringing. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Colin, it's Ashley. Please don't hang up. Ashley, tall redhead. One of Brianna's friends from last night. Why are you calling? Because what happened last night was messed up. And there's stuff you need to know. She paused. Can we meet? Just for coffee. 30 minutes. Something in her voice made me agree. We met at Mozart's Coffee on Lake Austin. She was already there when I arrived, sitting at an outdoor table, nervous energy radiating off her. Thanks for coming, she said as I sat down. Make it quick. She took a breath. What she said last night. That wasn't just girl talk. She's been planning something. My stomach dropped. Planning what? I don't know exactly. But she's been setting up a narrative for months. Telling us you're controlling. Jealous. Holding her back. Ashley looked at me directly. None of that's true, is it? No. I didn't think so. She pulled out her phone. She's also been on dating apps. Bumble, Hinge. Says she's just window shopping, but come on. How long? Since January. Maybe longer. She scrolled through her phone. There's more. She's been flirting with some guy at work. Preston. Going to lunches, texting constantly. I felt cold. Why are you telling me this? Because I was there last night. I saw what she did. Humiliating you in front of all of us. Laughing about it. Her voice cracked slightly. That's not okay. And because you've always been decent to me. To all of us. You didn't deserve that. Does she know you're calling me? God, no. She'd lose her mind. Ashley looked at her phone again. Look, I can send you screenshots. From our group chat. Things she said about you. I'm not trying to blow up my friendship here, but someone needed to warn you. She's playing games. What kind of games? The kind where she wants you to be the bad guy. Where you leave first so she can claim you abandoned her. Ashley met my eyes. Get ahead of this, Colin. Document everything. Protect yourself. She sent the screenshots. I sat there reading them on my phone while Ashley waited. Messages going back 6 months. Brianna complaining about me. Her friends responding. You're too good for Colin anyway. Life's short. Explore your options. And the worst one. I'm going to ride this out until I find someone better. No point being alone. I felt sick. I'm recording this conversation, by the way, Ashley said. I'll send you the file. Use it however you need to. Just protect yourself. Why would you risk your friendship for me? Because it's not about you. It's about what's right. Her voice got firm. And honestly, after last night, I'm not sure I want to be friends with someone who treats people like that anyway. After we finished coffee, I sat in my truck in the parking lot, opened my phone, and started documenting everything. Times, dates, what was said. Downloaded the screenshots Ashley sent. Saved them in 3 different places. Then I called Greg. Hey man, what's up? I need a favor. Big one. Name it. Can I crash with you for a while? My relationship just imploded. Guest room's yours. How long you need it? I don't know. A few weeks maybe while I figure things out. Take as long as you need, brother. I drove to Greg's place in South Congress. He helped me unload the duffel bag. Didn't ask too many questions. Just handed me a beer and said, when you want to talk, I'm here. That night, I laid in Greg's guest room staring at the ceiling. The room was sparse. A bed, a dresser, a lamp. But it was quiet. Peaceful. No tension hanging in the air. I pulled out my phone and looked through old photos. Me and Brianna at Zilker Park 2 years ago. Smiling. Happy. Or at least I'd thought we were happy. When had things changed? When had I become not enough? My phone buzzed. Text from my mom. Heard from Brianna. She says you left. What happened? Of course Brianna had already called my mother. Already trying to control the narrative. I typed back a simple response. We broke up. I'll call you tomorrow and explain. Mom replied immediately. Are you okay? Getting there, I typed. Love you. I set the phone down and closed my eyes. Made a mental plan. I needed to protect myself legally. Document financial contributions. Separate my life from Brianna's cleanly. No drama. No revenge. Just a clean break. The next morning I researched mediators. Found Angela Reeves. Specialized in non-married couples dissolving shared living situations. $200 for a consultation. Worth it. Before I could call her, my phone rang. My brother Ryan. Mom called me. He said without preamble. Said you and Brianna broke up. News travels fast. She also said Brianna was crying on the phone, saying you walked out over nothing. Ryan paused. That true? Walked out. Yes. Over nothing? No. Want to talk about it? I told him everything. The overheard conversation. What she'd said. The screenshots Ashley sent. Ryan was quiet while I talked. Jesus, he finally said. I never liked her, you know. You never said anything. Wasn't my place. But she always had this way of making these little comments. Like she was better than everyone. Better than you. He sighed. I'm glad you left, man. You deserve someone who thinks you hung the moon, not someone who thinks you're barely acceptable. Thanks, Ryan. You need anything? Money? Place to stay? I'm good. Staying with Greg for now. All right. But call me if you need backup. I'm serious. After we hung up, I felt better. My family had my back. That mattered. I also unblocked Brianna's number. Needed to see what she was saying. 47 new texts. Voicemails. All over the place emotionally. Anger, sadness, bargaining. The most recent one just said, please. I typed back. Get a lawyer or agree to mediation. All communication goes through them from now on. Her response came in seconds. Are you serious right now? I didn't answer. Tuesday evening I texted Brianna. Coming by at 6 to get more of my things. We'll be quick. She was waiting when I arrived. Looked terrible. Red eyes, hair pulled back, wearing sweats. Can we please just talk? I started gathering belongings. Books from the shelf. Kitchen items I'd bought. Photos of my family. You're really doing this over one comment? I stopped and turned to her. It wasn't one comment. It was 6 months of you telling your friends I'm not good enough while I paid most of the rent. While I supported you. While I was being a partner. I was just venting. No. I pulled out my phone, showed her one of the screenshots Ashley had sent. Her face went white. Ashley sent you that? See? You're not worried about hurting me. You're worried about getting caught. I continued packing. She tried tears next. Apologies. I'll do anything. The thing is, Brianna, I don't want you to do anything. I want to be with someone who doesn't have to convince themselves I'm worth their time. I never said. You did. To everyone except me. That's worse. I loaded 3 boxes into my truck. She stood in the doorway watching. So that's it. For years, and you just walk away? No. For years, and you push me away. I'm just finally listening. I drove back to Greg's, feeling lighter despite everything. That night my phone buzzed. Text from Morgan, another friend from that night. Hey, I know this is weird, but wanted to say I'm sorry for laughing. That wasn't cool. I didn't respond, but I noticed a pattern. Brianna's friends were backing away from her. The narrative she'd built was crumbling. Wednesday morning I met with Angela Reeves. Her office was downtown, 3rd floor, worn carpet but professional. I brought documentation. Lease, bank statements, receipts. She reviewed everything while I waited. You have a clear case for fair division. You've paid significantly more. You documented her acknowledgement that you're leaving due to her actions. Is that enough? More than enough. This should be straightforward. She tapped her pen against the notepad. I'll reach out to her. Propose mediation. If she refuses, we have options, but I think she'll agree once she realizes fighting this won't go her way. What kind of options? Small claims court for financial reimbursement. You have records showing you paid 70% of shared expenses. That's not equitable when both names are on the lease. She flipped through my bank statements. Your documentation is excellent, by the way. Most people don't think to save this stuff. I keep records. Old habit. Good habit. Angela looked up at me. Can I ask you something personal? Sure. Why are you being so fair? You could push for more. You'd probably get it. I thought about that. Because I don't want to punish her. I just want to be done. Clean break. Move on with my life. Angela smiled slightly. That's refreshing. Most people in your position want blood. Blood doesn't fix anything. It just makes everything messy, eh? True. She closed the folder. Give me a week. I'll contact her, lay out the terms, see if she's reasonable. If not, we'll proceed accordingly. I left her office feeling like I'd made the right choice. This was going to end cleanly. Professionally. No drama. Brianna initially refused. Told Angela we could handle it ourselves. Angela told me not to engage directly. Let her handle communication. After a week, Brianna agreed to mediation. We met at Angela's office. Separate rooms. Angela shuttled between us. My terms were simple. I pay half rent through the lease end. 8 weeks. I keep belongings I bought. We split the security deposit. Walk away clean. Brianna wanted me to pay full rent. Claimed emotional distress. Wanted compensation. Angela came back to my room. She has no legal standing for any of that. I told her so. Eventually, Brianna accepted my original terms. We signed the agreement in separate rooms. I never saw her face that day. The night after the mediation, I had a moment of doubt. Sat in Greg's guest room, staring at my phone. Part of me wanted to text Brianna, ask if we'd made a mistake. 4 years was a long time to throw away. I walked out to the living room. Greg was watching a game. You okay? He asked. Yeah. No. I don't know. I sat down on the couch. What if I overreacted? What if I should have given her another chance? Greg muted the TV, turned to look at me. Did she apologize? Sort of. But she also said I was being dramatic. So not really an apology. No. Did she take responsibility for what she said? For how she made you feel? She said I misunderstood. But you didn't misunderstand. You heard exactly what she said. Greg leaned forward. Look, man, I get it. 4 years is a long time. It's comfortable. Familiar. But comfortable isn't the same as good. And familiar isn't the same as healthy. I know. Do you? Because you're sitting here questioning yourself. Questioning whether you deserve to be treated with respect. He shook his head. You're not overreacting. You're finally reacting appropriately. There's a difference. He was right. I knew he was right. The doubt wasn't about whether I'd made the wrong choice. It was about fear. Fear of starting over. Fear of being alone. But being alone was better than being with someone who made me feel small. Thanks, I said. Anytime. Now stop second-guessing yourself and help me decide what we're ordering for dinner. Over the next 2 weeks, I heard things through mutual friends. Ashley had stopped hanging out with Brianna. Morgan distanced herself too. Apparently Brianna went on a date with Preston from work. He ghosted her after dinner. One friend told me, she's saying you gave up too easily, that you didn't fight for her. I don't fight for people who publicly announce I'm inadequate, I said. That's not giving up. That's having standards. One evening, Greg and I sat on his balcony with beers. The sun was setting over South Congress, painting everything orange and pink. Can I ask you something? Greg said. Shoot. Do you miss her? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I miss the idea of her. The person I thought she was. But the real her? The one who laughed with her friends about how I'm not man enough? I shook my head. No, I don't miss that person at all. Good answer. Greg took a sip of his beer. You know what I noticed? You seem lighter. Like you've been carrying something heavy and finally put it down. He was right. I hadn't realized it until he said it, but I did feel lighter. The constant low-level anxiety I'd been living with was gone. The feeling that I needed to prove something, be something more, earn my place. All of it had evaporated. Yeah, I said. I guess I do. You staying in Austin? Greg asked. Why wouldn't I? Just checking. Some guys, after a breakup like this, they run. New city, fresh start, all that. Nah, Austin's my home. I'm not letting her chase me out of my own life. I looked at him. Besides, you're here. And I need somebody to help me move furniture into my new place. Greg laughed. Always with the furniture. I started looking at apartments. Found a 1-bedroom in East Austin. Small, affordable, entirely mine. Greg helped me move in on a Saturday. We set up the few pieces of furniture I'd bought. That night, I sat on an air mattress eating pizza from Via 313, looking around at my empty apartment. It was mine. No one here thought I wasn't enough. The next morning, I woke up early. Made coffee in my new kitchen. Stood on my small balcony watching the sunrise. The air was cool, quiet, peaceful. I thought about all the mornings I'd woken up in that other apartment. Always feeling like I needed to be more. Do more. Prove more. The exhaustion of constantly trying to meet an impossible standard. Here, in this empty apartment, I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. The relief of that realization almost knocked me over. My phone buzzed. Text from Rachel. Good morning. Hope your first night in the new place was good. I smiled. Typed back. It was perfect. 3 weeks after moving into my new place, I went to Whole Foods in the Domain. Unavoidable. It was the closest one. I was in the produce section when I saw her. Brianna. With some new guy. Designer everything. Talking loudly on his phone. She saw me at the same moment I saw her. Looked panicked. I grabbed my groceries and headed to checkout. She intercepted me. Colin, hey. Hey. Awkward silence. The guy joined us, clearly marking territory. This is Trent, she said. I nodded. Nice to meet you. So you're the ex, Trent said. Heard a lot about you. I'm sure you have. Brianna looked uncomfortable. We should catch up sometime. I don't think that's necessary. Take care, Brianna. I walked away. As I left, I heard Trent say, That's the guy you said wasn't ambitious? Seemed pretty put together to me. Brianna's voice, defensive. It's complicated. I smiled to myself. The next day, I ran into Kevin, a mutual friend, at a coffee shop on East 6th. Hey man, he said, sitting down across from me. How you holding up? Good, actually. Really good. Glad to hear it. Kevin hesitated. Look, I don't want to be the gossip guy, but I thought you should know. Brianna's been having a rough time. How so? Lost most of her friend group. Ashley told everyone what really happened that night. Morgan backed her up. Now Brianna's basically on her own. He stirred his coffee. She went on a few dates through the apps. None of them went anywhere. Preston from her work apparently wanted nothing serious. That Trent guy you met? Lasted 2 weeks. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to know you made the right call. Whatever she's going through now, it's because of her own choices, not yours. Kevin looked at me seriously. You walked away with your dignity. That matters. Thanks, Kevin. After he left, I sat there thinking. I didn't feel satisfaction hearing about Brianna's struggles, just a quiet sense of confirmation. I'd made the right choice. The following Saturday, I went to Zilker Park for a friend's birthday picnic. That's where I met Rachel. Brown curly hair, photographer, easy smile. We talked about travel, favorite spots in Austin, books. Normal conversation. No games. As the group was leaving, Rachel said, Hey, I'm doing a photo walk through the East Austin murals next weekend. Want to join? Always more fun with company. I hesitated. Still raw from everything. But something felt right. Yeah, I'd like that. We exchanged numbers. The photo walk was Sunday afternoon. Rachel brought a second camera, taught me basics. We laughed, talked about everything. She mentioned a recent breakup too. Sometimes people grow apart, she said. Or realize they weren't growing at all. Or realize one person was growing and the other was criticizing. I said, Oof, been there. We didn't kiss. Just hugged goodbye. But I drove home feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. A week later, Rachel texted. There's a new taco place on Rainy Street. Want to check it out? We met there on a Wednesday evening. The place was small, loud, packed with people. We squeezed into a table in the corner. So, Rachel said, after we'd ordered, I have a rule. Second date, we talk about the stuff. The baggage. Get it out of the way. Fair enough. I took a breath. My ex told her friends I wasn't man enough to handle her. I overheard it. Left that night. Found out later she'd been planning to leave anyway. Was just waiting for something better to come along. Rachel nodded slowly. That's brutal. I'm sorry. Your turn. My ex cheated. Found out through Instagram of all things. She posted a photo with him, tagged him, didn't realize I could see it. Rachel shrugged. Confronted her. She said I was too focused on my career, not giving her enough attention. Made it my fault somehow. That's rough. Yeah. She looked at me. But you know what? I'm glad it happened. Because I don't want to be with someone who needs that much validation from me. I want a partner, not a dependent. Exactly, I said. I kept trying to prove I was enough. Never occurred to me that the problem wasn't me. We talked for 2 hours. Easy conversation. No pretense. When we left, she kissed me. Quick, soft, promising. I like you, Colin, she said. I like you too. Over the next few weeks, Rachel and I kept seeing each other. Nothing rushed. Just two people getting to know each other. She met me at my apartment one Saturday with coffee and bagels. This looks great, she said, looking around. Feels like you. Yeah, it does. We spent the afternoon setting up my living room. She had better taste than me and wasn't afraid to say so. I didn't mind. It felt good having someone who could be honest without it turning into a fight. A few nights later, I was alone in my apartment. Rachel had a work commitment. I ordered Thai food, ate it on my couch, and looked around at my space. My books on the shelves. My photos on the walls. My furniture, my choices, my life. I thought about Brianna. Wondered if she was happy. If she'd figured out why she'd treated me the way she had. Part of me hoped she would. Not for me, but for her. For whoever came next. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Hey Colin, it's Morgan. Just wanted to check in. See how you're doing. Morgan, one of the friends from that night. I typed back. Doing well. Thanks for asking. Good. You deserve to be. She paused, then sent another message. For what it's worth, I told Brianna what she did was wrong. We're not friends anymore. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. Some people don't want to see their own behavior. She's one of them. I set the phone down and finished my dinner. Tomorrow was Friday. Rachel and I had plans to see a band at Stubbs. Life was moving forward. Simple. Uncomplicated. Good. 6 weeks after everything had started, I was at Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden with friends. Brianna walked in. Different guy this time, not Trent. We made eye contact across the room. She came over. Can we talk? Outside. I excused myself and followed her to the parking lot. I messed up, she said. Tears in her eyes. I know I did. I've been thinking about us. Brianna, stop. Just listen. No. You said I wasn't man enough for you. You were right. I wasn't man enough to waste my time with someone who didn't respect me. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Spending 6 months telling your friends I'm insufficient while I paid most of our rent. That's not fair. She looked down. I never found anyone better, you know. That's not my problem anymore. And honestly, you won't find better. Not because I'm so great, but because you'll do the same thing to the next guy. I looked at her directly. I hope you figure out why you do that, but I'm glad I don't have to be there while you do. I walked back inside. She didn't follow. 2 days later, my mom called. Hey, sweetheart. Got a minute? Sure, Mom. I wanted to apologize, she said. For believing Brianna when she first called. For not hearing your side. It's okay. No, it's not. She made it sound like you just abandoned her. Like you were going through some kind of crisis. I should have known better. Mom sighed. Your brother filled me in. Told me what really happened. She needed someone to talk to. You were being a good person. Well, I'm glad you're out of that relationship. You sound happier. Lighter. I am. Are you seeing anyone? Typical mom question. Actually, yeah. Her name's Rachel. She's a photographer. Tell me about her. We talked for an hour. About Rachel, about my new apartment, about life. It felt good. Normal. By the end of the call, I realized something. Everyone who mattered had my back. That was enough. 3 months after that Saturday when everything changed, I was in my apartment with Rachel. We'd been dating steadily, getting serious. She was at my place, and we were cooking dinner together. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Do you ever regret how fast you left? Like, do you wonder if you should have tried to work it out? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No. The comment she made was just the loudest version of what she'd been saying quietly for months. I was just finally paying attention. What made you finally hear it? I guess I stopped making excuses for her. Stopped telling myself that patience was the same as partnership. Rachel kissed my cheek. Well, her loss is working out pretty well for me. That night, my phone buzzed. Text from Ashley. Hey, random but saw Brianna tonight. She asked about you. Wanted you to know I said you were happy and didn't elaborate. Hope that's okay. I typed back. More than okay. Thanks for having my back. That's what actual friends do. I set the phone down and looked at Rachel next to me. 6 months ago, someone told me I wasn't man enough to handle her. She was right. I wasn't man enough to keep performing, keep proving, keep shrinking. Turned out I was man enough to walk away. Man enough to know the difference between patience and being a doormat. Man enough to let someone else take on that particular challenge. I'd never felt more like myself than when I stopped trying to be enough for someone who would never be satisfied. Tomorrow I'd wake up in my own apartment, see Rachel for breakfast, live life on my own terms. Not because I proved anything to anyone, but because I finally stopped needing to. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.